Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Battle of the Beach Longsword Invitational Tournament stream. So, Miro, my name is Kristinehamn Arena, I'm from HEMA, I'm your host, and with me...
I'm Miro Lahtela, also from HEMA.
So, briefly, should we introduce the fighters and talk about the tournament structure? What's going to happen today?
Yes, we have a eight-woman tournament here today, so we're going to have a straight Cup 3 going on to the semi-finals and then into the finals.
Yeah, and fighting today we have Kristinehamn, Anna Färnefors, Elin Speck, Josefin Boman, Torun Sandström, Ida-Maria Lehtinen and Britt Sjöqvist. And you might have noticed that we only mentioned 7 names, so Minna Vasarainen had to pull out due to an injury. So going to be an interesting time today.
Yes. Now we would move on to our first interview as soon as we get the interview ready.
Enjoy.
Okay, so hello everyone watching at home. My name is Einar and this is
Jack.
And we are fencing with the club Spiff in Stockholm. And Jack, I would like to ask you a few questions. What is HEMA? What does it stand for, HEMA?
Right, so HEMA stands for Historical European Martial Arts, and it is a movement, and it's a martial arts and a movement to try to recreate fencing, wrestling and striking arts from the past, so to speak, specifically the European past. And in this case, it usually means that we try to look at it through historical manuals and sources, look at relevant techniques, and try to bring it into modern practice.
Very interesting. So, when did HEMA start?
It's an interesting question. You could say that it's been like restarted several times over because we know that like historically people had an interest in martial arts of the past that came before them. I would say the HEMA movement we see today is a product of maybe the 70s, 80s when we started getting access more in the beginning academical sources, and then of course in the late 90s, 2000s we started getting transcriptions and translations of those sources, which made them more accessible, let people try to interpret them, create like fencing systems out of them, and of course an example of what we're going to see today, put them into practice.
All right. So how does one go about start train HEMA? Like, what do you do? How do you do it?
Well, first of all, you need to probably find a club, find someone to train with. HEMA fencing, a lot of the time is based on like, yeah, you have a club, you need your relevant gear depending on what you're doing. There's a lot of different expressions of HEMA, ranging all the way from mostly doing interpretational source work, trying to figure out how these things, but also into the practicing part. And for that, we're also talking about things like needing a full complement of fencing gear. You're wearing part of it yourself, some fencing pants, a neck protector, a gorget, and of course things you might see from other fencing disciplines like a fencing mask, protective jacket, stuff like that, and of course a sword simulator.
All right, so find a club, get some gear and start swinging, huh?
Yeah, I would say so, pretty much.
Perfect. All right.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. Let's move back to the commentators.
All right, time to introduce the fighters a bit in more detail.
Yes. First up we have Kristinehamn, who as we mentioned will get her first fight as a bye. She's ahead of a very new but a very distinguished club called West Coast HEMA, or West Coast HEMA School, I think. And she's 36 years old, has fenced for 13 years, does longsword, rapier and dagger, sword and buckler and saber. As an extra sport, does sports fencing, so a very sword-oriented person.
Yeah, and for those spectators who don't know what a bye is, since we have only 7 people here, that means that there's one match that doesn't have that. Christina advances straight to the semi-finals in this one. And next up we have Anna Färnefors from Örebro HEMA, 31 years old, done for 6 years longsword and Muay Thai background, so expecting to see some good Greek action from there.
Yes. And then we're moving on to Elin Speck from Zwart en Steen from the Netherlands, 40 years old, done HEMA for 7 years, does longsword and actively has a side hobby in bouldering. We're going to see some nice upwards action in her fights then.
And then we have Josephine Baumann from Frost HEMA, 37 years old. Main disciplines are longsword and rapier, and we have seen quite good parry reposed Unterhaus today already from Josephine, so gonna be tough matches in the creek when fencing her.
Yeah. And then we have Torun Sandström from MSL from Linköping, 27 years of age, has done HEMA for 6 years, does sword and buckler and longsword as her disciplines. Previously done some judo and some horse riding, so with the judo probably we'll see some nice grappling actions happening. I asked her today what is her idea of how to succeed in fencing, and she told me that just hit the opponent in the head, and then if it doesn't succeed, keep hitting them in the head.
That tends to be a pretty good tactic.
Yeah. I've used it myself sometimes.
Yes. And next up we have Ida-Maria Lehtinen from HMS, 31 years old, 160 centimeters, 2 years of HEMA, but also Thai boxing background.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of fighters today who have a Thai boxing background, so I think we will see some powerful striking there. Yeah. So that's pretty good.
And even though she's the one who's done least of HEMA, we both know that she's a very active trainer. We can see her in our club many times. No bias here for her.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we have Britt Sjöqvist here from Örebro HEMA, 30 years old, done HEMA for 11 years, started originally in Gothenburg, then moved here. She only does longsword and has a background in, you guessed it, Muay Thai as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of experienced people here, yes. So gonna be good fights today. Gonna be a pleasure to watch.
Yes.
All right.
So,
I guess on to the next matches then soon.
Yes.
Video next. Good.
To our second interview for the day. We're going to go through a few of them. I'm standing here with Minna Vassarainen from EHMS and also Ilaria Torre, also from SPIF. And I was hoping, Minna, you could maybe tell me a bit, if I remember right, you had been fencing since 2017, right? Yeah. Could you maybe tell me a little bit about the competitive scene in HEMA and how it has maybe changed or evolved in your perspective during this time?
At least it has definitely developed further. It was quite accessible already when I started, but it has widened even more. And I think it's really good that we are arranging different kind of competitions. I think Battle of the Bridge is an excellent example. So happy to be here.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Also, when you think in the terms of like maybe judging or safety, like judging rules, variants of that, like safety requirements, do you think there's anything significant you can see there in like from before and after COVID?
I think after COVID there are definitely a wider range of different kind of rule sets, and that's excellent because as a good fencer I think you are supposed to be able to apply your fencing to different kind of contexts, and this enables it.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on a bit, Ilaria, you can maybe tell me a bit about, speaking of tournaments and history of tournaments, a bit about your time in fencing in different scenes. I know you started in Italy, you've been through Ireland, and now you're in the Scandinavian scene. So tell me a little bit about like the changes or like how those differ from each other.
Yeah, well, first of all, I started a long time ago, 15 years ago or so, and the gear was much, much different. Like nowadays, we have all of this fancy steel like gear, which is amazing. When I started, we were fighting with rattans and like hockey protectors. So it was like, a lot of enthusiasm, but much less gear, much less money to buy gear, and much less producers of gear. So this is amazing how it has evolved and like how much more people can join because of the, availability of stuff, availability of resources, and how like the scene has just evolved. Like there's so many more people doing it, so many more women doing it as well. It's really becoming more and more inclusive in this sense. But yeah, so I fenced in Italy, in Ireland, in the US, and now here. And over the years, I mean, you can see that like in different countries, people approach the competition in a slightly different way. So a slightly different focus on maybe more how the quality of the hits is judged, how the historical aspect is judged, for example, and how the safety is also assessed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We're going to move back to the commentators and get started with this event. I'll be back later with more interviews with other people. But for now, thank you very much, Mina and Ilaria.
Yes, moving on to the first fight of the evening, we have in the blue corner Anna Färnefors from Örebro and Elin Speck from Svart and Stein.
I think this is going to be a pretty interesting fight. Like, I think Elin will want to stay more in the distance in the Zufechten, and Anna will want to go into the Krieg. So that's going to be curious to see who gets there. So footwork will matter actually quite a bit, I think.
And that was something I was going to mention. There's going to be probably a lot of movement in this fight.
Yeah, both are quite active fencers.
Yeah, with the footwork, So, getting ready to begin.
And I think Elin likes to open with the Oberhaar quite well, but Anna has a pretty decent parry post against that. So let's see if we develop quick long exchanges.
The parry post is a thing. You see a lot of Örebro fencers having a good, nice, quick and clean parry post game.
Yeah. Okay. Enough talk. Let's see some action.
Seems to be a cut. Okay, there was a cut to the upper opening from Elin, and something to the lower opening from Anna.
Yeah, nice parry post. I think that
there
lands.
You see the parry post that we were talking about.
Earlier there. And I think the key here for Anna is to get that first parry in. Like if that doesn't work, then there's going to be trouble.
One way for achieving that might be like provoking an attack. This is what she cannot do, just wander backwards.
Yeah, and it seems like Elin is trying to dictate the fight. Like she's the one going in and deciding when it happens. So there's some kind of initiative at least there. And I think we got blue. No. The only thing that was quality apparently was red-headed.
Match currently stands 2-3 for Elin.
Yeah, I think Anna needs to start moving sideways if she wants to dictate this fight a bit more. Like Elin has a pretty solid start there.
Yeah. Okay, so we see. Okay, it was the cut to the body from Anna was counted, which is she might want to start with moving forwards a bit more aggressively now. To have more time to move backwards if she so wants.
Yeah, the parry post lands again. Yeah. Elin looking guidance from her coach, it seems. Nowadays 5-3, it's time to change something up for her. Yeah, there's a nice parry post. Yeah. And since that's so solid, it's easy to like see for the judges. And it's always when you have two hits, like there's always going to be some kind of comparison on the quality. Yes, so when your strike is good, that really helps on selling the hit.
Oh, now she switches it up, goes for the hands.
Yeah.
And it is a quality cut.
Yeah.
So the match goes to Anna from Örebro.
Yeah, pretty good turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did just that where she didn't let Elin to dictate the fight and
got the first attack close. I think that was key to actually winning the match. Good adjustment from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we will move on to the next fight. In the next fight we have Josefin Boeman in the blue corner and Torun Sennström in the red corner.
And I think they have fenced today already in a tournament before, and it's interesting because the previous match sort of sets the stage where we are at now. So usually the person who lost the previous match has the advantage because they have the hunger and willingness to win. So it's much harder if you have won the previous bout to actually win again.
Yes. So we get things going with our referee of the evening.
Yeah, I think this match is going to have also long creek exchanges. That's going to be expected.
We might see some grappling in this fight as well.
Yeah.
Both of them are very forward driving fencers.
Yeah, a much calmer start there, like feeling out. There's no wanting to take unnecessary risk. And here, eventually blue gets the hit, I think, on the lower opening.
Yeah. Towards the shoulder area. Yes.
Yeah.
So there we see a lot of exchanges in the kind of middle distance of Krieg.
Yeah. Torun taking a bit of a risk standing in the left Vomtag. Sometimes it pays out, but not this time.
And Torun does Fiore as well.
Yeah.
So like she told me that she
Posteridona.
Yeah.
Destra, no, Sinestra.
She started with German longsword and now is doing more Fiore in Linköping.
Yeah. 2-0. Yeah, now usually when you have two exchanges that are long and you are two behind, now it's time to change something. It's time to do something else to win.
And as you see, she's going to a lower guard, which she didn't do earlier.
Yeah.
Driving in for a thrust.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna get scored 1 point each, but that attack started just a bit too far away. Like there's too much time for Josefin to react to it. It needs to be like 5 centimeters closer to land that.
And Josefin does a good job of standing firmly after the cut, showing the judges that this is what I want to land. This is what I want to show you guys.
Yeah. And again, we get the thrust is too far away, so the parry riposte gets done.
The riposte is an Unterhau, as we see.
Yeah, and that's quite hard to block, the Unterhau, actually.
And I think the Unterhau kind of emphasizes this strong posture that she has.
Yeah. I think we see Josefin clearly like thriving in the Krieg here because she's happy to let Torun start the exchanges because they are going her way. And now we're at the 5-0 place, so something else needs to be done.
Yeah. So moving into Vomtag from Torun.
Yeah. And most often, like, the exchanges actually are won in the Krieg. What do you do there, how you approach the opponent, how you invite them, that's where you decide who wins the exchange. Sorry, in the Zufechten.
The Zufechten, yes.
Last exchange. So this match is going to go to Josefin. Let's see if we get some interesting action.
Yes. Sometimes fencers
like to half sorting or stuff like that, but not this time.
They decided to fight it out for real until the last
exchange.
Good. Okay. That is our second match.
Yeah. So next up we will have Ida-Maria versus Britt Sjöqvist. So that's going to be a curious fight.
They've met a couple of times in different events, so it's going to be interesting to see if Ida-Maria can answer to the upward pressure from Britt, who likes to walk in distance and
then cut to the head quite powerfully.
Yeah.
But I assume we will see some like quite powerful hits here.
Yeah.
That's sort of the expectation going into this fight. We are about to find out how this one goes. And it's always, the first fight is always tough in these kind of like tournaments.
Yeah.
For all of the fighters. You have the nervous jitters and then you have to figure out, and there's no chance to warm up in the pools like you have in the usual competitions since it's direct elimination. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Let's see if there's quality cut from blue to the,
It is, left, and I know she likes her left Oberhaus, Ita.
Yeah. Brit just barely missed. Maybe a bit too hungry to go in. Then we get parry reposed by Ita and then replied by Brit. So I think that's gonna get, yeah.
Yeah, 1 point each, yes.
Let's see if Brit gets quality on that head hit. Yeah, she does. So that's
yes.
gonna be 2-1, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we are 1 even
1-1,
at the moment,
yeah.
yeah.
Ita deciding to change guard to Flau. Flau versus Flau, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a 2-1, I think.
Yes. And I think what Brit changed is that instead of just walking forward, she took some steps back.
And they're taking more time in it.
Yeah.
There's no hurry. And now Ita is trying to put the pressure on Brit.
Yes. Let's see what the judges see
Yeah,
here.
didn't see the angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 2-1 also. So
Yes.
now it's time for Ida Maria to stop cutting low.
Yes.
Because that's clearly
Maybe
not
change
working.
something, yeah.
The crowd yelling to hit to the head. Let's see if that worked. No, that's gonna be a 1-1.
Yes, 1-1.
Yeah,
there's a cut to the head
from Brit. Yeah,
Brit,
yeah. I think in the initial exchange, actually, both might have landed, but when you do like a late afterblow after that, that's going to be always interpreted as like you are trying to score desperately in a way. So that's a misservice to your own fencing. So it's 6-1. Yeah, Brit really finding the upper opening here.
Yeah, and as we're seeing, as we mentioned, she likes to fight up high, and now she's getting the exchange where she gets to strike from above.
Yeah, exactly. And then the riposte from Ida Maria is coming low still, so that's
Okay, and match goes
to Brit. Yeah.
So next up, we have some interviews, and then we move on to the semifinals. So in the first semifinal, we have Kristinehamn Arena against Anna Färnfors, and in the second, we have Josephine Bowman against Britt Sjöqvist.
And I think both of those matches have been had many times before, so it's fighters who know each other really well. Yes. And when you're fighting someone you actually know quite well, it's a different game from fighting someone new.
Yes.
Like you have seen the movements, your reactions are bound to be faster because you know how their emotions go. Whereas when you fight someone new, it's everything is a surprise, so it takes a bit longer tempo and time.
Yes. But now we're gonna move on to the next interview before these semifinal matches. So.
Okay, hello again, and today I'm here, right now I'm here with a man who needs no introduction. We're looking at Carl Ryberg from Örebro HEMA, longtime fencer, instructor, champion, and organizer here in Swedish HEMA. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about competition preparation. I wanted to start with asking a little like, what would you say a typical session in your club looks like, and like, do you have sort of a difference then when it comes closer to competition times, how you change your training?
Yeah, like normally we start with around 20 minutes of conditioning, going into a technical part that we are progressing on, and after that technical part we move into sparring. And in our club we always spar 3 minutes, 30 seconds break, or 25 seconds break, or 15 seconds break. But we always spar with a timer just to get a feel and to be comfortable in that. And that is kind of one of the key points in my club, that we should never lose points because of poor conditioning. And then we tend to, like we always say, that competition is just a part of what we do, but it's also a nice motivator. And normally we will have it so that if there's a competition where a lot of fencers in our club are motivated to go in and compete and do well in, we would normally do it so that we will normally do a period where we focus on technical things that we might not be super comfortable with yet. So kind of like to build a broader repertoire and be more in line with the treatises. So that will be the first period. And then as soon as we get closer to competitions, we normally make it less and less diverse and more focusing on the core game, doing more and more sparring, trying to focus on what we do well closer to competition and what we do bad further away from competition. So for me personally, and this is something that I try to instill in my students as well, is that a proper preparation where you feel confident and if you feel that I have practiced well, I know my things, I've been to my trainings, that builds a confidence. And a lot of success in fencing comes from trusting what you do. So if going into competition, to me, it's very important to go there from a place of confidence. And people find that in different ways. But having a solid, fundamental training session where you've attended a lot of trainings is very important for me. And this is something that I see in a lot of students. Long answer.
It's a very long, very detailed answer, though. It looks like a very holistic approach. If you're okay with me calling it that, of course. But then, like, so, yeah, a bit on that mental preparation side, just as a quick then, do you also have a tendency to maybe try to study opponents in upcoming competitions, or do you mostly focus on that, that strong, rigorous background of your training?
We more focus on ourselves and trying to make our opponents fence the way we do. I have never been one to really think, that might be sounding a bit strange, but I don't think that much when I fence, and I don't really teach fencing very cerebrally either. I trust my guts, and I want to be dominant enough to make my opponent adapt to me and not to adapt to my opponent. And that's sort of the way that we look at it, which means that we rarely study opponents because they should adapt to us, not the other way around. That might be stupid, but that's the way we do it.
Okay. Thank you very much for those answers, Carl. We're going to move on to the next round of fights. So I will be giving the word back to the commentators. Thank you.
Okay, now we're moving on to the semi-finals. The first semi-final we're going to have Kristinehamn against Anna Färnefors.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of interesting because Kristine got the bye. That means she has the nervous jitters now. There's no warm-up sort of this match.
Yeah.
So
but then again, she got to rest a bit more. So
it's a bit so and so. Is the advantage or disadvantage? And I think it depends on how the fighter mentally reacts to the situation.
With a lot of fighters, it helps that you have a fight like under you before you go.
Yeah, I think most fencers know the feeling when you have the first fight of a pool done, and then
But then again, Kristine is quite experienced. She's fought in a lot of tournaments in a lot of different environments.
Yeah, so more capable to handle that kind of pressure.
So they start going here, a lot of footwork again. We see.
There comes the parry riposte. Yeah, yes. Kristine striking a bit too far.
Excellent.
So the parry riposte lands.
You can hear that we are near Örebro, so the crowd is
cheering. Vigorously. Yeah. These two have fought quite a few times, so they know each other well. So.
Yes. So there was the thrust into the preparation of the attack or into the attack itself from Anna.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be a tough advantage to, and again, parry riposte too eager, too far away.
Yeah.
Judges are calling only 1 point.
Yes.
Still chance for a turnaround.
Yeah.
Like I think the most experienced fighters have a chance to turn this around. So
and Kristine knows that now she needs to change something to get the advantage.
And you can see she has calmed down, so that's good. And there comes
a hand snipe.
Yeah, and that lands.
It's considered quality, yes. Good.
Yeah. Things got now more interesting.
And she has the reach advantage, so.
Yeah.
she will want to fence a bit further away.
Yeah, and there we saw like an attempt on the left side overhow cut, and she has opened always before on the right, so now it's a good time to mix those up. So that's a 1 point blue, 5-2.
I think she needed to wake up.
Let's see if red gets quality on that. Yeah, no quality.
no-
The sword
no
was only
exchange
placed.
there.
Yeah.
And you can now see both fencers are calming down. There's not so much footwork anymore. The spastic movement
Yeah.
they had in the beginning. And now they're stopping in the middle, and that's good for Kristine.
Yeah.
To gather.
It's a mentally tight spot when you have to win every exchange, and there
That's
comes
about
a
to say there's
thrust from red.
one mistake and then it's done.
Then it's done,
And
yeah. There we
this
go,
match goes
Anna
to
wins
Anna
it.
Färnefors.
Well fought, well
Oh no,
fought.
sorry. I misspoke. Okay, so now it's again continuing from the distance. The problem with this distance game is that you get only shallow targets, so it's hard to gain all those points.
Yeah, but then you can build up slowly and mix up the 2-pointers in. Let's see if that gets quality. No score.
No score.
Yeah. Yeah, it was with the wary tip, so I think that's actually the correct call for. I would have done the same.
I think she already abandoned the attack during it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last exchange.
So there's no way to win for blue.
So let's see.
Yeah,
Okay, we see
she
half
knows
sword.
half sword.
Let's see if we see. Oh, there we go. So
Interesting
Anna
match,
Färnefors,
good match.
advancing into the finals.
Yeah.
So next up we have
Second semi-final.
Second semi-final. Josephine Boman against Britt Sjöqvist from Örebro. So this is also going to probably be one of those fights where you see a lot of forward motion in the beginning, and then maybe there's need to be some changes to rhythm, to movement.
Yeah.
And we can obviously see Carl Ryberg here being very
Cornering.
active as a coach,
Yeah.
cornering both Britt and Anna.
Yeah, I think Britt will probably want to open quite quickly. I assume it's going to be a quick start for this match.
It's a huge advantage to have somebody as experienced as Carl in your corner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The advice is like,
And also
huge.
to calm you down when you're like, I think I should get that
and we
exchange.
see a more calmer start. That's interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
And there comes the thrust, and then get parry Unterhau. That's going to be one blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've seen Josephine give this parry riposte with Unterhaus. Let's see how.
And there comes the thrust was from too far away. Like you can't hit a first intention attack from that far
Now
away.
you can see Britt stalking forward.
Yeah, trying to
With the
inch a
point.
bit closer. And now, yeah.
Okay. Let's see what is going to be called. Okay, they considered the second cut from Britt being late. I agree. Okay. Now Britt is moving from guard to guard, opening up the guards a bit and going back to the center line. So there's this measuring process of Britt having to think about what are we doing here. I'm a bit surprised that she's not opening up with the high cuts she usually likes to do, maybe.
Yeah, I think she knows Josephine will do the parry post Unterhau, so that's a tough thing to counter. I think that touches the thumb. Yeah, not
No
gonna get
quality,
called. Yeah.
There's still 1-0, so
Yeah.
this can be whoever's fight. So now we see a cut to the higher opening. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're even at 1.
Like I think Josephine is more of a passive fencer, and the way you break a passive fencer is that you take the shallow extremities and make them come out. And when you break that game, then that gets easier. So curious to see if that's going to happen now.
Okay, there.
Let's see if that. Yeah.
Parry post from below again. Josephine is very good at staying at her game, doing what she wants to do in the exchanges.
Yeah. And Britt wants to open like from high above or from the right side. So Josephine's style is sort of like a counter to this.
Yeah.
So. Will that get called as a slice? Yeah, it got called as a slice.
Into the face.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're moving to 4-1. Now, this is the last exchange. Okay. So we see. Okay, and match goes to blue.
Yeah.
So into the final we have Anna Fernefons and Josephine Boeman.
Bronze will be Christine against Britt.
Yes. Now we're moving onwards to the next interview with Jesper about organizing these kinds of events.
Enjoy.
Okay, everyone. Hello again. I am back. I'm here for another interview. Right now, I'm going to talk about organizing a competition of this caliber with Jesper Kristinehamn, also of Örebro HEMA. Now, to start with, this is the third time you're running Battle of the Bridge. And I wanted to ask why Battle of the Bridge? Like, why did you select this concept to work on and organize?
So, many factors, but one of the main ones would be that when you generally go to a fencing competition, like for instance for me that only competes in Longsword, you drive or fly to another country, stay in a hall like this one, sleep on mattresses, and then you might have 12 minutes of total fencing for the entire weekend, which is not great value for money. So we wanted to test and see how we could improve that ratio, the fight per krona, so to speak. Okay. And also we wanted to test ourselves and see how many competitions can we actually bring about in a single weekend. So those were the main factors, I would say.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I also wanted to say that, of course, we have more than 100 participants, I believe, here. You've hosted somewhat, is it 9 or 12 tournaments just so?
And making as great as possible for each other, for themselves, and for the HEMA community at large.
Okay, thank you very much, Jesper. That is it for this interview, and for me for now. We are going to go back and start preparing for the final of this Invitational tournament. Thank you.
Next up, the main event.
Yes, now we're moving on to the gold finals. We have Anna Fernefors from Örebro HEMA fighting in the blue corner, fighting against Josephine Boeman from Frost HEMA in the red corner.
And there's been like now good 5 minutes of time to strategize for Carl to give some kind of advice on how to handle the situation. So let's see if there's like any new ideas that come out in the next match.
Yeah.
And the finals is going to be old swordfish style, so that's going to be 2 rounds.
Okay. So we're going to see 2 rounds of fighting, and the points keep accumulating during that 2 rounds. So we can see these usually tend to be very tight matches in the end, even though there is a possibility of one running away once we get forward.
And since the other format usually is like it's best out of 3, and there you can lose 1 and sort of like reset. But here if you don't perform at the start, it's going to be a quite tough time to catch up on the later rounds. So that's going to be interesting to see if people actually are able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good that we have different formats of finals for the finalists, like this old swordfish style and the best out of 3 and even best out of 1. It brings out like different qualities in the fencer. You need to be able to excel in different kind of areas and perform different kind of tactics.
That is true. I'm trying to. Yes.
Taking a break.
Yeah, they are taking a break.
We are taking a break.
Ah.
Just say that you're going to.
Oh, we're taking a break now.
Be
the
back
stream.
to you soon.
Yes. Okay, welcome back. We had some tiny technical difficulties, as these streams sometimes have, and now we're going to be moving onward to the finals. In the blue corner, we have Anna Färnefors from Örebro HEMA. You can make some noise for Anna, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. And in the blue, in the red corner, we have Josephine Boman from Frost HEMA. Yes. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, I think, especially movement-wise. Josephine is very stalwart and very still a lot of times, whereas Anna moves a lot.
Yeah, I think here matters who actually gets the first exchange, because if Anna wins the first one, then that means that Josephine has to attack.
Yeah,
Because
she needs to come out of her shell a bit.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yes, there we go.
Calm, calm. That's good.
Waiting, plotting. Maybe forcing Josephine to come forward a bit. Sometimes the defenders who wait a lot, when you're in a final, it's very hard to stay and wait.
Yeah, and there's two fencers who actually like to parry riposte a lot, and there we see, I think, oh, that's gonna get called 2-2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, two more defensive fencers, if we can say so.
Yeah. There's definitely been some talks in the corner of Anna, in the Örebro corner of, okay, well, how are we going to beat this fencer?
Yeah. Yeah, Anna goes low, Josephine goes apparently also. I thought it was high, but well,
yeah.
1-1, no score.
But as you said, they're fighting for the first point.
Yeah, who gets the lead, and that sort of sets how it's going to go after that. Potentially, and 2 rounds, so there's. I think we're gonna see a very low point cap round for the first one, and then somebody has to change for the second one. Yeah, I think that Unterhau lands without a response.
There was an attempted thrust from Anna.
Judges disagree. That's
Okay,
one
point
each. Yeah.
Okay, maybe there's something landing before the Unterhau. Anna moving to Schrankhut.
It's not something we see quite often. Getting that parry post on the hand. Yes, that is one blue.
Yes.
And now let's see if Josephine adapts. I think this is the first time she's on a loss on a match here. So on this tournament,
and
a thrust to the head.
But that's always, as a fencer, hard. If you have an opponent that's been passive and they suddenly move forward.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thrust to the head.
Well played, well played.
Okay.
Referee making some kind of a note to red fencer. Josephine getting, I think, 2 cuts, getting scored the first one to the torso, so that's 1 red.
Yeah, I'm wondering why Anna is not using her ability to move to force something else out of Josephine. Now they're waiting and playing.
Yeah, and I feel like her legs are a bit stuck. Like there should be more movement there, more action.
So this is the last exchange of the first, but now it actually matters since these points go on.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. Parry post gain from both.
Yeah, trust misses. Parry post from red lands.
Yes. Okay.
So
Now there's definitely going to be definitely some brainstorming in the blue corner from Carl and Anna.
yeah,
Okay, what we're gonna do.
3-point lead is like that's something you can catch up to in the
Yeah.
second round. Like if I was Carl, I'd just say Geisler to the leg, but
Yes.
maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Or create some kind of difference compared to what we saw earlier.
Yeah, because
here.
clearly you can't continue doing the same because if you do, then it's likely going to be a loss.
Yeah.
Loss.
But we can expect some kind of big change in the blue corner. Obviously,
Yeah.
Josephine might also do like a preemptive change, like try
Yeah.
to overthink, outthink the opponent and do something to nullify.
Completely different. Yeah, nullify what they are changing. So again, here the first exchange actually matters the most,
Yes.
and that sets the tone on how the last of the round is going to go.
Okay, and we're moving on to the fight.
Let's go.
Yes. There we go. Again with this kind of shrunk hood.
And still a bit.
Okay, there's some.
Advice from the audience to strike the head.
Okay, there's some
That is-
change of cuts, but no
No,
quality.
no quality. Yeah, nothing scored.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a thrust.
Yeah, and there was no tell on that trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't get
It
scored.
it looked like it missed. Like,
Yeah. But that was a good thing from Josephine to do. That was a smart play.
Yeah. Because now it forces Anna to think. Can I move forward? Can I come to the
Do I
range
have
of
to?
the thrust?
Yeah. Do I have to take into account the point? Yeah. Still a bit careful.
Yeah. Okay, now there's a hand snipe.
I think that's
Yes.
gonna be one blue.
One
yeah,
blue,
one
okay.
blue.
We're moving to 2 and 4.
4-2.
And in these kinds of fights, like even 1 point can make a big difference. Okay, but
Anna
now
backed in the corner. Josephine, Anna, boom. There it goes. That's gonna be 2 red, 1 red.
Okay, maybe catch the shoulder instead
Yeah,
of the
instead
head.
of a head, yeah.
But now Josephine did like an immediate change after getting hit.
Yeah,
She was
like, that's
pushing.
really smart
Yeah.
tactically. Very good fencing.
She's kind of varying this pushing and waiting game,
Yeah,
and it's working beautifully for her.
yeah.
Okay,
Grapple.
There we see some grappling.
Yeah, I think it was
There
a
wasn't
wrap
really
shot.
any,
Yeah,
yeah.
so no power in it.
Okay, there's
And
some,
when you get that kind of grapple, you sort of need to start beating the other
Yeah.
person to get the point.
being
Like-
very clear, but that
Yeah.
might be something that they're now discussing is that there was a show of dominance. There was an
But-
ability to cut maybe back of the head, maybe
But
something like this.
if you want to show dominance, you actually want to show like a proper
Yeah,
strike. So
definitely.
it's a big.
And here we get
And
to for
it
domination,
was awarded.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now it's a 5-point lead.
that's gonna be a tough. Now
it is
something's gonna
catchable,
change.
but something needs to change.
Yeah, and
definitely.
2-pointers need to start happening.
Yeah. Okay, now there's
That's gonna
cut
be
and
a.
a parry riposte. How about the cut? Seems to land before the.
Yeah, I think
the
I think
afterblow.
it was. Yeah, afterblow was called late. Maybe with a loading action or something. 4-point difference. I think that's a cut to the arm. That's 1 blue.
No, it's
No.
a cut to the.
Cut to the head, upper opening.
There
That's
was,
2
there was
blue.
like a very small arc. Okay, now
This is getting interesting.
Yes.
Now there's 2 points difference.
let's see if there's enough time. Okay,
I think that's gonna be
2 points each.
2 points each. Yeah,
Yes.
both fences scored a hit to the head. Yeah, and here it's important to see what the time is to know how many exchanges you're gonna stake. Because if there's gonna be a cut to the
there's a
hand.
Okay, now there's only 1 point lead, so we
1
can now
point
see the
lead.
momentum shifting.
Yes. Last
Okay, last
exchange.
exchange. Okay, this is
you,
tough.
You need
Let's
to
see.
take a 2-pointer or a clear one.
Clear one, yeah.
Yeah, it's easier for red to suicide. Let's see what happens.
Okay,
Is
let's
that-
see. Is it quality in red's cut?
It's gonna get called. 2 points
points.
blue. It's a reversal.
In the last possible exchange, Anna Pärnefors
Did
takes the
not
match.
see that happening. That was brilliant reversal.
that's-
Like absolutely great turnaround on
Yeah.
the
A
events.
warm embrace from the coach.
Yeah,
Oh.
like 5-6 point lead on red and catching up to that with change of tactics. Absolutely stellar job.
Yes, that's definitely something that feels as good as a fencer.
Yeah.
Yes.
To figure the opponent out and then just solidly beat them.
Anna Färnefors wins the...
Well done. That was impressive.
Yes, and
that
she
was
gets
impressive.
Gets a beautiful trophy for her efforts. And, and I knew before these fights that Anna has actually been a bit sick, a bit injured.
Yeah.
So she's not been fighting during the day. So this was, I think it was a huge moment for her.
Yeah.
And she's been growing up as a fencer in the last year quite a lot.
Team Örebro being very happy about the home win, as they should be. Well done. A good display. Good display.
Yes. So now we will, as soon as we get the winner here into the interview area, we are going to have the winner's interview. So
looking to hear about the feelings and thoughts.
Yes.
How does this feel?
Yes.
Okay, and hello everyone, I'm back again. Very exciting now because I get to be with the winner of this tournament, Anna Färnefors of Örebro HEMA. First of all, obvious question, how do you feel?
Fucking amazing.
I can imagine. Do you feel like this matches, like this was a very marvelous outcome and an amazing turnaround? Do you feel like it matches the expectations you had on this competition and on yourself when you were coming in?
Honestly, I didn't have any expectations. I know these are some of the top fencers in the world, and I didn't expect to go this far, and I never expected to win. Yeah, I'm just blown away.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, it's been an amazing show, a marvelous display of fencing from all involved, especially you, of course. So, would you say now it's time to go back, celebrate with the rest of your club? How will you spend your evening?
Probably drinking beer.
That sounds very nice. Well, again, congratulations so much. Very well done. Thank you for coming by. And yeah, everyone, please, the winner of the Örebro Invitational Women's Longsword. Thank you.
Yes.
Stellar job. They're being Team Örebro. We're really happy about the win.
Yes.
They have been looking forward to this.
And I think kind of the theme of the evening in fencing-wise was changing strategies. We see a lot of fights where you either win or lose by changing or what you're doing.
Yeah, you need to, when it's such a short fight, you need to adapt, especially when it's a cutoff of 8 points. Yes. You need to do something to change if you are like behind 4 points or something. So that was a great reversal at the finals. It was very good to see.
Yes. That's been all, folks. Thank you for your time this evening. Have a good night and keep watching HEMA.
Good night, good fight.